What is going on, everyone? Welcome back. It is time for another 6-day streaming week of goodness. And today we've got a lot to talk about. We've got more updates. I know, ever updating here on the channel. Also, today we'll talk about the possibility of a new item for DSP Tries It. I will be watching the Atomfall gameplay preview, which just released, to see what the game is all about. And we'll be chilling and talking about the week coming up, including a new episode of Smart Guys, continuing playthroughs, and all kinds of fun and great stuff. It is truly time to relax and enjoy gaming on today's episode of the Level 1 Podcast. If I can press the button.
Get ready for some meaningful content, because the king is back, the king of the live stream, the king is back. Woo!
Alrighty, folks. So welcome back. It is time for a new week of streaming. It is Sunday, the 12th of January, 2025. I'm DSP. Welcome here to the Emerald Grove. That is right. I'm surrounded by breeze and trees. The air is clean here in Washington State today. How are you all? I hope that you had a good Saturday. Particularly, I had a pretty relaxing day off, which we will talk about today on the show, undoubtedly. And I hope that you're all in good spirits and ready to relax and have a good time with me here on the podcast today. I'm trying to find... There we go. I was wondering... There it is. Okay. So, yes, I was not here yesterday. It was my day off, but now I'm here for 6 straight days of streams, although there will be one night that I will not be able to be here this week. Reason being, I actually have to wrap up the last of my private React videos because I'm not going to be doing those anymore. It was great to do those for a couple of years when I did, but basically now things have changed. When I started doing the private Reacts, 2.5 years ago, the idea was that, I basically don't always have, an overwhelming amount of viewers or supporters on a stream. And having a night where basically for like 2.5 hours I don't stream, but instead I do a private video that someone is kind of buying, it makes a profitable night. What's ended up happening now is I'm kind of getting pulled in a million directions, unlike 2.5 years ago, okay? People are interested in doing stuff with me. I'm trying to stay caught up on games and playthroughs, and I'm kind of falling behind, to be honest. And because of that, having these streams where I just have to kind of like not be making content, except for one person, have actually cost me. Like, take a look at where I am in my current playthroughs right now. Indiana Jones. We're almost done with the game. We're in the next to last part of the game, but I've been playing it for over a month and the end, we're still not in sight. Stalker 2, which we're continuing today. We're basically heading now into the second half of the game. And that game has been out for almost 2 months. Actually, I think it has been out for 2 months now. And I got, interest in being on other shows and things. People are interested in having me on as a guest. I've got the Smart Guys show now that has started. Did really well on the first episode. And we're brainstorming better and bigger ideas for the show moving forward. We've got all this going on. And it's like, can I really be taking entire nights off just to do a video for one person, despite the fact that I make money doing it? Because keep in mind, I do. Like, they're paying me for their time, or for my time. But basically, I just feel like it doesn't really work for the way that we're doing stuff now. And so this week will be the last time that I do it for now. If anyone ever wants to do a private video that's like a 20-minute Q&A, which was actually how this whole idea began. For those who don't know, I have a Patreon. I literally never talk about it. It's patreon.com/darksidephil. And if you pledge $50, you've bought yourself a video. And the video was supposed to be a 20-minute long Q&A video. It was not supposed to be a 30-minute long to 2-hour long React video. But somehow it became that. And so much like a lot of my React content, has been scaled down, so will these private videos. It just makes sense, okay? So, people might still be able to buy like a 20-minute Q&A video if they want, but I think I'm going to limit it because my time is being, pulled in other directions, all right? So anyway, outside of that, this week's going to be a great week coming up. I'm very excited, continuing with all these playthroughs, episode 2 of Smart Guys, all kinds of fun stuff going on. We'll get to that. Yesterday, of course, was my day off, but I would also like to talk about what went down on Friday, because we had some interesting developments in both Indiana Jones and Street Fighter 6, which I'd like to talk about. Both playthroughs kind of in jeopardy, I guess I could say, but I think there is some good news here that I'd like to share with all of you. Let me just tell you guys how refreshing any beverage tastes when I drink it out of the officially branded Level 1 Podcast two-sided mug, which you can get over on darksidefield.shop. Just throwing that out there for awareness. Anyway, so, where to even begin, right? Where do you begin with a show like today where I have so many topics to cover? All right, how about this one? There's one I want to throw out right away because I don't want to forget about it. For those who don't know, I have a throwback YouTube channel. I don't talk about it often. Excuse me. But it is there, and a lot of work is put into it by my editing team, okay? And basically almost every day, although it's not every day, probably I'd say 4 or 5 times a week, a new video is put up there, a restored playthrough from my past, now fully remastered, okay? You can find this channel at youtube.com/@DSPThrowback. That's how you find it. Currently, right now, we have Mass Effect 1, my original run of the game from way back when, early on in my YouTube days, and Resident Evil 5, yes, another really old playthrough from back in the day, that are both being remastered and uploaded kind of alternating days. Both playthroughs are great. I'm really enjoying them, by the way, because I have to watch them back each day a new part comes out and title it appropriately. We are almost done with Mass Effect 1. It looks like probably another week or so, and Mass Effect 1 will be done. And so we're thinking about what should be the next project to be restored, remastered for a modern audience. I'm debating, but I'm thinking we could either go with Mass Effect 2, jump right into the sequel, or possibly, how about this classic, Assassin's Creed 2? That's one from way back in the day. One of the classic playthroughs from early on that I definitely think could work. So I'm debating. I'd like to have your feedback. If you're someone who watches the channel, please let me know. We have about a week to figure it out. And so that's on deck. So for those who don't know, the Throwback channel still has those new videos going up. It doesn't have a big audience. I'm serious. Like, the videos get like 50 to 100 views each. And then over time, they get a little bit more. It's not for a wide audience. It's for people who maybe want to see my old style of content, but don't want to watch videos that look like peach fuzz, and terrible audio. They're redone with better visuals, better, the voiceovers are improved, put into a proper playlist, proper titling, etc. 30-minute parts instead of 10-minute parts. There's a lot of improvements on that channel. So I definitely hope you will give it a look if you haven't yet. Maybe many of you don't even know the channel exists. And also, last year, one of the best things that I liked doing was doing throwback nights, retro react nights, where every Sunday night I would go to the Throwback channel and we would do a live stream of me reacting to one of these old playthroughs. Well, at the end of 2024, we already did a poll, and you guys determined the next playthrough you want to see is Fallout 3, which is already fully remastered and uploaded to the channel. I'm down for that. I just need to find the right time to do it. As I said, right now, I'm already trying to find time in my schedule to do everything. I do want to bring it back. Okay, I really do. So maybe late January or maybe February. Okay, we'll see. But I don't think now's the time yet. Now when I'm trying to play catch up, when I'm trying to do my final react video, I'm trying to do all this stuff, I think like we should do it soon, but not immediately. Okay, so DSP Throwback, give it a look, check it out. Good stuff. Okay. You may have noticed something. Has anyone noticed anything different? Yeah, we finally got the leaderboard bar to work properly. It doesn't seem like it's going to crash anymore, which is great. And I changed the font, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in 7 years. Yes, I'm not even kidding you. I didn't mean to press that button. I had used that font, Impact, I think it's called, for 7 freaking years, ever since I first became a full-time live streamer, okay, in 2017. That's when I started using that font, and I literally never updated it, you know. You know, what are you going to do? You get caught up and stuff. It's like the last thing on my mind is the font. And to be honest, I don't think anyone ever complained about the font. So I just kept it. So I may be messing around with different fonts and things. As you can see, the leaderboard, I'm trying to make it more visible, but not like intrusive to the stream. So the letters look a little bit bigger now. It'll be easier to read when I put names and amounts on there. But I also don't want it to be like, you know, jumping out like it looks obnoxious or anything like that. Okay. I also messed around with a few other scenes. Like, for example, I actually fixed up Phil's Day Off, and I fixed up DSP News to actually be working scenes now. They weren't working before, but as you can see, now they're all laid out where the logos are the right size and the leaderboard is there properly where it should be. In fact, we may even use this one today since, you know, we're going to be talking about my day off. But I haven't had a chance to map it to the Stream Deck yet. I have a bunch of stuff I need to map on the Stream Deck right now that's just not working. Like those scenes. I have some new clips and things I want to put up that are funny, but I just haven't had a time to do it yet. I basically, one of these days, I'm going to sit down and have like an hour to just mess around and update everything again. So good stuff, right? Good stuff. And thank you for the patience. As you can see, new animations too. I got rid of the New Year's animations. I mean, those were running for over a week. I'm like, all right, New Year's is over. Let's get some more animations on here for the podcast specifically, which I think these look pretty good. And I'll continue to try to do quality upgrades and updates as appropriate. I messed around with the soundproofing tiles behind me as well. Tried to make a little bit of a cool design, like eye-catching design. So hopefully that looks nice. And, obviously the RGBs, everything, a little bit upgraded here or there. Okay. So, by the way, good morning. A lot of people are here. What's up, Jinx? What's up, Perry? What's up, Avarice? Toadstool? Apparently, Beaver Bother is over on Kick. I don't know if that's really Beaver Bother or not. We got DJ Trump over there. How's everyone this morning? Everyone doing well? Fern Dog, how are you? Good morning to everyone who is here. Yes, absolutely. YouTube Premium. Let me tell you guys something. They're talking about YouTube Premium in chat. YouTube Premium is a godsend. If you're someone who uses YouTube all the time, like obviously I do for both work and entertainment purposes, YouTube Premium is necessary. It makes it so that you don't ever have to watch ads, and you get a whole bunch of cool advantages as well for having it. I was looking at this. I'm like, why does it look like it's sharp? It does, doesn't it? It looks like it's sharp. That's weird. I might have to rearrange the felt there. It looks a little weird that it sticks up like that, right? It looks like it's jabbing the microphone. It's really not. It's actually in the background, but it's kind of weird. It looks like it's attacking the microphone there. Anyway, so YouTube Premium is great. If you get YouTube Premium, you don't ever have to watch advertisements on any video. Which means that everything's streamlined and you can just click around doing what you need to do. That's why I'm able to use YouTube for the podcast and not have to watch ads and stuff. But so many cool advantages, having to be able to play it in the background as if it's like if you want to play the podcast in the background while you're doing something else, you can do that. You can play a whole music playlist endlessly. I do. When I have my day off, like yesterday, when I'm in the car, I just sync my phone with my car stereo and I minimize it. And then it just plays music while I'm driving around. I don't ever need to use, I don't use CDs. I don't use the radio. I just listen to what music I want off of YouTube. And if you do use YouTube Premium, you support the content creators you're watching. If you have YouTube Premium and you're watching me right now, I get paid as if you're watching ads. So it benefits everyone, right? It's pretty neat. I hope that you'll consider getting it. It really is worth the money and it helps a lot of people out. So there you go, including you. What do I listen to? Retro game music. I have a few retro game music stations that I listen to and I alternate between. I really like listening to some classic songs, especially when it's one that I recognize immediately from like an old game that I used to play back in the day. So yeah, that's what I listen to. All right, let's go in order here of like chronological order. All right, let's talk about Friday. So back on Friday, my last streaming day, I played 2 games. Okay, I played Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and then I played Street Fighter 6, and in between we did a DSP Tries It. And I got an update on that as well. So here's the deal. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, we're almost near the end of the game. We're in the second to last portion of the game. We're nearing the finale. All I need to do is finish up the area we're in, and then there's like a story segment and one more segment, and the game's over. So we're almost there, and it's been a great playthrough. I've really liked the game. I know it's not for everyone. When I stream the game, I do sadly see a lot of attendance dwindle, but it is what it is. The playthrough's been going on over a month. I know people are craving new games this year, and just so you know, you're not going to get them anytime soon because there's nothing coming out. Like, no lie. There's nothing coming out. It's going to be months until we start getting into new releases. Like maybe mid to late February is when new games are starting to trickle out. So it is what it is. Okay. So we did really good. We had great progress. I did a bunch of optional plot lines, upgrades, and everything. But guess what? We ran into a critical soft-locked game bug. There's a part of the game where you're supposed to buy a rebreather from a vendor. And so you're supposed to go off and find money. And there's multiple ways to do this. You can either go to a specific area where these fascist Nazis or whatever have a lot of money, and you could like raid their camp and steal their money. Or you could just go out throughout the open world map and do other missions and just loot money randomly from areas until you have enough while you're doing other content. That's what I opted to do. But at some point while doing all of that, I somehow got a rebreather out of nowhere. It just appeared in my inventory. It doesn't even make sense. I don't even know how I got it. So now because I have the rebreather, when I go back to the vendor to buy it, they won't let you do it because you already have it. So I'm soft locked because I can't buy the rebreather, which then gives you the next story mission. However, I do have some good news. I was contacted by a couple of people, one person particularly who left a comment on the videos saying the same thing happened to them. You do have to kind of cheat, meaning you have to look up where the next story segments are, like the next 3 to 4 story missions. If you look up where they are and you go there, you can just do the missions. Like you don't need to have it in your journal or your waypoints. You could just go there and do them. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully this is true because I want to continue with the playthrough. I don't want to have the playthrough end now or have to sit around waiting for a patch in order to continue on. I want to play it. So let's see how it goes next time around when we play later in the week. But it looks like the playthrough may be all right. Thank you so much to the person who told me this stuff. I really appreciate that. Obviously, I didn't want to be soft locked. Okay. Then DSP Tries It. Okay, we tried out Venezuelan food for the very first time on Friday, including a beef empanada, a chicken bowl with a variety of stuff, including black beans, seasoned chicken, fried plantains and rice, and a delicious dessert called a taqueño. So if you haven't seen it yet, it's actually a really good DSP Tries It because it's something I've never had before. That video is available over on DSP Reacts, which you can find at youtube.com/@DSP Reacts. Okay, now, good news, I think I know what I want to do for the next DSP Tries It, and it's a brand new item from a place that I like, and it sounds very interesting. You ready? So, ladies and gentlemen, Jersey Mike's has some new menu items, and I'm excited to try them out. The one that they have that's notable is they have a new chicken sandwich. Do you see this? So if you go to I think it's Cold Subs. They have a new roasted chicken breast. This is brand new. So instead of it being the chicken that they chop up and they fry up for like the chicken cheesesteak, it's these slices of already pre-seasoned roasted chicken. So you can get a standard roasted chicken breast sandwich, but they have this new one called the spicy chicken Italian that they just added. It has chicken breast, pepperoni, provolone, and a pepper relish. Very interesting. That sounds delicious. And they just added it to the menu, and I checked. Yes, I can order it. It's actually available for order in my area. I can get it delivered to try it for DSP Tries It. Okay? Now, they have other ones as well. For example, down here, they have the grilled portabella mushroom and Swiss. Wait, that's not it. No. There was one where they basically they don't have it on here actually. It's supposed to be mushrooms with chicken mushrooms. It's kind of like a chicken cheesesteak, but with this new chicken. Okay, so I was thinking about like, man, if I get it, I'm probably gonna get this one. I definitely think I want the spicy chicken Italian. That sounds good, doesn't it? So we could do that. Okay, I think that would be cool for the next one. Now, I've been looking around. There's other things going on for DSP Tries It as well. Apparently, KFC, as Kentucky Fried Chicken, is going to have several new bowls. And when I say bowls, I mean all they do is they put their ingredients in a bowl and mix them together. It's like chicken nuggets and Nashville hot sauce and fries. It's like the Nashville hot fry bowl or something like that. It's not there yet, but they're adding it like soon. That's a possibility coming up. We did check and we saw that Burger King has those melt burgers, although they're not really special. It's just like a double Whopper Jr. With cheese and like onions and a sauce. So I don't think that's a big one. But I really feel like this should be what we do this week for DSP Tries It, unless someone else comes up with something better. Okay? If someone comes up with something better, I'm all ears. But I felt like this is something cool. We haven't done Jersey Mike's in a while. This is a brand new sandwich with new chicken and this new pepper relish. So 2 new components to the sandwich to try. You know, unlike the other places that claim they have new items and they're not, it's just the same ingredients reshuffled into a new offering. This actually is a new offering, 2 new ingredients they didn't have before. Okay? So, there you go. Let me know what you think. But I think that this is a good idea because it is definitely something different and a new item rather than just, rehashing an item that they've already had. Okay? So, by the way, we should now direct the attention here below. We are at 62. That's right. On Friday, both streams, we hit the goals. So we're not at 61. We're at 62. We need 8 more goals to unlock the next DSP Tries It reward. Okay? So I'd like to know, who's going to be the first contributor of today. Right now we have nothing yet. But as you know, everything supports the streams. Super chats, super stickers, memberships, gifted memberships on YouTube. Subs and gifted subs over on Kick. Tips, which you could do on either side, okay? Anything would be appreciated. Let's get something going. Who's going to be the first person on the newly updated leaderboard? Let's see how your name looks down there in the new font. All right, let's have it. That's right. They got the prayer emotes going over on Kick. Who's going to be the first person? All right. Let's get it going. Okay, let's get it rolling. And here's the other thing, too. As I've told you guys, we don't always have to do a DSP Tries It for the 10 rewards. We don't, okay? We could do other things. It's really up to you guys, but I'd like to know what else would you like. Is there an item you'd like me to try that I could get from somewhere and do like a testing of it? What about liquor? I've suggested maybe we get some liquor of things that I've never tried before, a certain flavor of beer, a certain kind of hard liquor. Let me know, and maybe I can get it. But the thing is, I have to get them ahead of time. Right? I have to. If I don't get it ahead of time, I can't do it for the show. And that's what's happened is people were suggesting do this, but then I didn't have enough time to get it in time for the rewards. So, let's start planning this. I'd love to hear what you guys want. By the way, Dank Sneed Pimp, over on Kick, just gifted a sub. It is our first contribution of the week. So let me go ahead and play an animation. I have to reload my animations page because it looks like it crashed. This just confirms all along that the issues I was having with the animations has nothing to do with my setup. It was always the animations page that was glitchy because my setup's all new tech now and it's still crashing. Now wait a minute. Here we go again. I have absolutely no clue why that was down in the corner over there. I don't know. All 3 of them are completely off center, and I don't know why because I didn't do this. The YouTube pop-ups are now centered. This makes me feel like the YouTube pop-ups are now going to be screwed up on the other pages too. And I didn't do it. I don't know why that's happening. All right, well, the YouTube pop-ups are fixed. There we go. Okay. So, the Dank Sneed Pimp, thank you for the first contribution. There we go. Okay. And that gets us to $5 in contributions. Thank you so much. Thanks for getting the momentum going. Now, let's keep that rolling. Who's going to be the first super chatter, the first person to gift a membership, and the first tip of the day? Let's get them in and get that momentum rolling, okay? And again, if you guys have ideas of what you would like to see for DSP Tries It, whether it's a food item, whether it's another item you want to see me do a testing of, or if it's liquor or something else, let me know. Let's set all these up, shall we? Let's do it. Let's get the momentum rolling, but your feedback feeds the show, so let me know. Okay, Friday night was Friday Night Fights Street Fighter 6. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the funny part about it. I played Blanca, which arguably is my best character in Street Fighter 6, right? I think a lot of people would say, yeah, he's your best character. He always was. The game has degraded so low now, okay? The game is just so pathetically bad. And I hate to say it because I did like the game at one point. Awesome. Perry, thank you so much. 5 gifted memberships to the channel. 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Perry. Let's get you up on the leaderboard. Actually, oh, good. We already have that's right. I was thinking memberships are already automated. Don't need to put anything for you. You already got them popping up there. Thank you, Perry. So let's get Perry the White up there. Which means we will now be up to 20 bucks of support. And whoever got those, be sure to enjoy those emotes. Thank you so very much, Perry. All right. Awesome. Okay. Oh, Sambuca got one? Cool. Because Sambuca's a longtime viewer. Okay. So, Street Fighter 6, Friday night. Here's the state of Street Fighter 6. No exaggeration. The people who have stuck around to play the game are mostly tryhards. What that means is they have all copied some pro player by watching videos, memorizing easy mode patterns that you can use ad nauseum to win, unless you are like completely studying the game to get to the point where you know, oh yeah, so this ridiculous pattern can only be interrupted in 2 frames. And you must know those 2 frames in order to blow through it. If you don't know that, you're basically screwed. And the problem is the top tiers in this game, the Camis, the Juries, the Kens, get away with constant rush down in your face, and you can't really do much about it unless you know this specific time to interrupt their safe mode patterns. So, I don't play Street Fighter 6 that much anymore, all right? As you know, there is a very, very good Blanca player. And what's happened is, because that Blanca player, what's his name, Mena RD or whatever, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but because he's so good, everyone knows how to fight against Blanca. Like, no exaggeration, there's almost no Blancas online because people know how to beat the character so well. So it's actually harder now to play with Blanca than any other character that I play with. No exaggeration, I have an easier time with Honda, an easier time with Bison. I even have an easier time with Dalzim than I do with Blanca. So trying to play with Blanca, it was very frustrating. Everyone was just locking me down. And I couldn't really do much. I mean, even by the end of the night, it was the first time in a long time I had a losing record. I think I had 23 wins and 25 losses. And it was just so frustrating, you know. It was so frustrating that people outright said, Phil, just don't play Street Fighter 6 again next time. Do something different. Do the Marvel collection. And I was like, all right. So what we'll do is when we play fighting games again this week, I think I have it scheduled for Wednesday night. We're going to do the Marvel collection and do some Marvel 2 again. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, that is. Because at least in that game, you know, I actually have way more character knowledge and way more knowledge of the game than most people who play it. So it allows me to play at a competitive level and not basically be incredibly frustrated like I have been playing Street Fighter 6. So that should be fun. And I am going to keep playing Street Fighter 6. Next stream when I play, I'll probably play with Honda, and that might be like Friday night again, Friday Night Fights. But for now, you know, Marvel 2 makes sense for the middle of the week for variety rather than me just being frustrated at Street Fighter. Shout out to Hypnotic Jinx, who did a $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Hypnotic Jinx. That is our first super chat of the day. That is awesome. Let's get you up on the leaderboard. $20. Thank you, thank you. So that gets us up to $40 in support this morning. Now, that means we have memberships, we have subs, well, we have 1 sub, and we have a super chat. Now we just need a tip, and then we've spread it all over, right? Who's going to be the first person to tip on today's stream? And then we have support of all categories. Let's find out. Okay. So, that's what's going on since Friday. All right. Yesterday was my day off. So now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for an official segment that I like to call Bill's Day Off. It's going to be a short one. There's not much to talk about. The good news here is it was a way more relaxing day that I really appreciated. I didn't have to run around and do too many errands. I only had to do one or two very basic things, nothing too crazy. I didn't have anyone who was coming to my house to do errands or pick up trash or do any kinds of installations. I wasn't building furniture. I didn't have any appointments. Basically, I did have to do a couple quick things. For example, I had to grocery shop. I had to go to the pet store. But outside of the very basics, it was a pretty relaxed day. And it was funny because my wife was just kind of randomly looking for another game to play. And she's looking all around, and she just happened to jump on Game Pass. And there was a game that I thought it was ringing a bell, but I know I haven't played it before. It's called Road 96. Okay? So I swear at one point you guys had asked me to play this game or check it out. And I even think that I might have played like the demo of this game at one point, but I know I haven't done a playthrough of it. So my wife's looking at it, and it's basically supposed to be a game about like being like traveling and trying to. It's really weird because when you look at the game, it doesn't explain what it really is. Okay, what is Road 96? It is a first-person adventure game, and what you're doing is you are trying to escape the country. Now it's a imaginary country. The country doesn't exist, but the game takes place in the 1990s. You're supposed to be a teenager who's trying to escape the country. As you start to play the game, you realize it's very much political. Like, holy crap, is it political? All right. It's got all these political overtones that tie into modern American politics. They're trying to say that there is a president in power that basically is a dictator, but he's all for fossil fuels and controlling the populace and all kinds of stuff. It's like, yeah, gee, I wonder who they're trying to allude to here, right? And then there's supposed to be a presidential candidate running against him who basically is like very liberal and wants the world to go green and wants freedom for everyone. Gee, I wonder what they're getting at there, right? So during the course of the game, you start off trying to basically escape this country by getting to the border. You want to leave the country. That's the premise of the game. You're trying to escape the country. Okay? Last time I checked, everyone's trying to rush our country and join, not leave. But anyway, I mean, I don't think we would really complain if people left. We would it's the opposite problem that we have here. So as this teenager, you basically go through these different stops on this road trip, and you're hitchhiking, or you're taking a bus, or you're taking a cab, and there's all these different people. You run into criminals, like, who are robbing stores. You run into like a celebrity news anchor who's like driving around the country covering this election. You run into just normal people here or there. You run into other kind of runaways who are also trying to escape. And each character is kind of unique. I think there's 6 or 7 of them, and they all have their own unique stories. And basically the entire game is just a mini game. Like, that's every single time that you run into one of these characters, you'll have dialogue choices that actually change the course of the game. You'll be able to lean towards, hey, do I like the current person in political power, or am I trying to make it so this other person wins the election? You get to determine, do you want to help these people who are kind of like terrorists, or do you just not want to do that because you don't like violence? It's really weird but interesting. Like, it's super unique, but man, does it try to push like liberal politics down your throat as you're playing through this game. Okay. I mean, I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't played it, but it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, some of the choices are non-choices, and they force you to go in one way, even if you don't want to. So anyway, it was funny because she started playing this game, and at first we're both watching it and we're just laughing our asses off. We're like, this is so ridiculous. You could tell the people who made the game are so one-sided politically. So why make a game with the element of choice if they're going to make it sound like if you make one choice, it's wrong and one choice is right? It's just kind of silly. But as you play, you kind of get hooked because the premise is you play as one teenager and you're trying to escape. So you go through this whole like hour and a half gameplay. interacting with each of the 6 or 7 characters. At any point, you can mess up and you can get arrested, and then your game's over, or you can die and your game's over. There's 2 ways to fail. Eventually, you're going to get to the border crossing, and you have to find a way to illegally cross the border into another country. Yes, I'm not kidding you. You win the game by illegally performing a border crossing into another country. That's the objective of the game. Once that's done, whether you succeed or you fail, you start the game over as another teenager and you do it all again, but now the plot changes because it actually has advanced time. So those characters who you started interacting with the first teenager now have their plots advancing, and you'll run into them at various different points of the game. So maybe the news anchor who you ran into reporting a story earlier now is just driving around in her stretch limo, and she happens to pick you up because you're a hitchhiker and you have an interaction. Or maybe the person who earlier was having like an existential crisis about their existence, now you find out that they actually are part of a former terrorist group, and they're having like moral feelings that what they did was wrong all along, and they never should have been a part of this group. Okay, so it's really wild and unique. This story is quite good, in my opinion. But you just have to be able to stomach a game that 100% is leaning towards liberal politics and accept that they just think that's the right way no matter what. So my wife did several runs. She did like 3 or 4 runs, and each one the game got wilder and wilder, and then we kind of ran out of time. So it was good. It was like a relaxing day playing this silly game on Game Pass. It was pretty fun. What do we have for dinner? Oh, we have Mexican food. We ordered Mexican food. I had these giant fajita quesadillas full of grilled veggies and chicken, and my wife had some enchiladas with mole sauce, and pretty good dinner. So it was a pretty relaxing day overall. Nothing too crazy to talk about in that regard, but a pretty good day overall and a good day to relax and unwind. This week is a 6-day streaming week for me, but next week I'm going to have an additional day off. We actually have a couple appointments that we lined up for a day during the week, and we said, well, here's what we'll do. The day with the appointments, we'll go to the appointments, but the rest of the day will be for us. And then the Saturday will be the normal day off where I run errands like grocery shopping and stuff like that. So that way we get some time together. All right. So this week is a normal 6-day streaming week, but next week there'll be some extra time off, and I'll let you know the days and dates and everything, when we know. Fair enough? Okay. That was Phil's day off. Not super exciting this week, right? I didn't think it would be. But there you have it. So now, what is going down for the rest of this week? Let's talk, okay? So today, we're returning to Stalker 2. And last time around, Stalker 2 was quite wild. If you remember, we interacted with this wish-making machine thing. And then reality changed, and we're not sure if we're still stuck in the dream or not. But now all hell is breaking loose, and all the factions are going at each other's throats and attacking each other. We're now heading into a new part of the map, which is great to finally be able to head into a new part that we haven't done yet. It looks like it's basically the second half of the game that we're beginning today. I can't wait to see how it goes. Mouse and keyboard, which is cool. I haven't played any mouse and keyboard gaming in a bit, so that'll be fun to do. So I hope you'll stick around for Stalker 2 and see how it goes. Tonight on the late stream, it is the return of Microsoft Flight Simulator. I haven't done this in over 2 weeks now, and I really enjoy the Flight Sim streams for 2 reasons. Number one, because they're very relaxing, right? There's no stress during a Flight Sim stream. We're just going to fly certain landmarks, certain places around the globe. We're going to have a good time. We're going to relax, and I love seeing whether it's a giant city or beautiful scenery or wherever we're flying. It's really cool, especially now that I'm playing at the 4K graphics with the maximum draw distance and resolution. The game just looks really good and is very chill. But the second part is I love the fact that while we're doing that, you guys pick where we go. A lot of the times, you guys tell me all kinds of stuff about the geography or the city or whatever where we are, so I learn when I actually play this game. And we have a lot of fun conversation while we're doing it, right? It's just really good in that regard. I really enjoy the streams, and the thing is, we've been busy and haven't been able to do it for a bit. Last week we had the year-end series and, Christmas stuff. So now we get to bring it back to the fold. I don't know if we'll be doing it every single week, but I do enjoy doing it. And remember, you pick where we go for a contribution. Basically, the way it works is whoever's the big contributor or the top contributor at the time picks where we're flying. And then we continue with that. So if someone does like a $20 tip, they choose where we go first. And then if someone does like a $15 super chat, they choose where we go next. And we kind of go in line there. And usually we end up flying anywhere between 4 to 6 places every stream. So they're really good experiences and very chill. If that's what you're looking for, if you don't care about challenging gameplay or anything like that, the flight sim streams are where it's at. Very social and very fun. And I can't wait for more. So I hope you'll join me tonight at 6:30, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time for that. Okay? Now, over the course of this week, we're going to be doing some fun stuff. Tomorrow, we're continuing on with the Dark Souls mods run. There actually was an update to the graphical patch, so we're going to see if that actually makes the game look any better. And we're going to continue on. We have beaten Anor Londo. So what we need to do is now kind of reap our rewards. I think it unlocks fast travel. So we'll be doing that tomorrow, and then perhaps fast travel around a bit to the areas that we skipped. Remember, we skipped the Capra Demon. We skipped the depths. Maybe we'll go back and we'll do those areas since we had skipped them to try to get all the items and rewards that had been there. And then we could fast travel around to determine where we want to go. You know, because once you beat Anor Londo, you got choices because all the doors open, right? All the boss doors. So we could go to Lost Izalith. We could go to down into the Cave of the Giants, right? And try to go underground there. We could try to fight any of the big four, right? They're all available now. They're all unlocked. So that could be quite fun, and I'm looking forward to that tomorrow. By the way, I'm using a new weapon, the Notched Whip, which is a bleed weapon that also has a unique attack pattern. So that's pretty cool that we're doing different stuff. So that's tomorrow's day stream. Tomorrow night, the return of Call of Duty. That's right. Call of Duty finally coming back to the fold. You guys love it. Every time I play Call of Duty, we usually get some pretty good attendance, and it actually has some of the most views of the videos of anything I've been doing recently is the Call of Duty stuff on mouse and keyboard. So I'm very much looking forward to that tomorrow night. And then Tuesday, Smart Guys returns, episode 2. You know, Monday night is Monday Night Raw, so I'll be watching it. So will Ash, and then we're going to do our new commentary show on Tuesday morning instead of the podcast. I'm going to say this. This week, we are going to have some announcements on the format of the show, how it's going to work moving forward. See, because last week was just the premiere episode, but now we have some announcements and things that we're going to be trying. I think you guys will like this episode. And possibility of some new stuff coming up, all right? So don't miss it. Smart Guys, instead of this podcast, broadcast on DSP Reacts, as well as on the Kick channel on Tuesday morning. And then after we finish that, I'm going to try to play some more Indiana Jones and see if we can beat this soft lock situation. And then Tuesday night will be the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. Okay, there you go. So that's when I'm playing MVC 2. Wednesday, we will have either more Stalker 2 or Indiana Jones. I'm undecided at this point what I want to do. And then Wednesday night will be Killer Frequency concluding. Yes, Killer Frequency, the narrative-based game where you're a DJ trying to save people in a small town from a slasher killer. So we're actually going to probably wrap it up on Wednesday night. And then maybe after that, we'll go back to having some other indie games in the rotation like Balatro or the Coin Game, stuff like that, okay? Keep in mind, also, I want to play Dino Crisis on PS5 Pro. We haven't had opportunity to really do that yet recently. But once we start wrapping up some of these playthroughs, that's probably the next thing that I'll be adding into the rotation. Okay? Good stuff. Perry the White, 5 months as a member, says, Smart Guys rules. Thank you so much. Perry, I appreciate that. 5 months as a member. Very nice. Okay, so, geez, we covered Friday, we covered my day off, and we covered the schedule. I think we've covered almost everything I want to cover today. Except one other thing, because ladies and gentlemen, Atomfall is a game that is coming out shortly. Okay, Atomfall looks to me like Fallout, only over in Europe. Okay, except they already kind of did that with Fallout London last year, which I didn't play, but I have the mod installed. We could play it whenever we want on PC. Maybe that's something for later on this year. So basically, Atomfall is the premise of the game is it's supposed to be kind of, you know, post-apocalyptic, but it's got futuristic tech and everything set in London. Well, guess what? They have released about 7.5 minutes of a gameplay overview trailer. And since this is the first time they've actually shown the gameplay, I wanted to watch and react to it today to let you know what I think. Okay? So that's what we're going to do right now. Okay. So here we are. Let's go full screen. All right, let's check this out. It is the Atomfall gameplay overview trailer. Let's see what we can learn about the game, shall we? All right, here we go. I just punched my desk viciously with my right hand because I was so excited. I just couldn't stop myself. And I said, oh, and I punched it as hard as I could. Okay, it was a mistake. Let's continue. Here we go.
Rated M for mature.
If
Well,
you've
that's
been
good.
waiting for a special occasion to break out your hazmat suit, then look no further than Atomfall. In
Oh,
Rebellion, we are excited to introduce you to this new world and what it has to offer.
is the volume too low? We'll up it a little bit. Okay.
However, there's far more to Atomfall than what we can showcase in a single video. This is just a glimpse of what's to come.
Atomfall is a brand new, single-player, first-person action survival game set in a post-war Britain. It will have you traversing the Lake District of Northern England, uncovering mysteries about the quarantine zone and the people that inhabit it.
My name's Molly.
Post-apocalyptic, quarantine zone, first person. I mean, it sounds familiar, doesn't it? I mean, are we kind of playing that game right now called Stalker 2, or haven't we played it? It's called Fallout. And I get it, like, they wanted to do their own original spin on it in Britain, but it just seems to me like it's kind of, haven't we already done it? I don't know. Well, let's see if there's anything truly original about the game, shall we? Let's find out.
I got some bits and bobs for sale.
My name's Nat, by the way. Forgive me being curious of strangers.
Atomfall takes place in a fictional quarantine in 1962, just 5 years after the real-life event of the Windscale Fire, the worst nuclear disaster in British history. However, in this altered version of history, there are more mysterious and sinister things at play behind the scenes.
So, an alternate version of old history that has future tech. This is starting to sound even more familiar. Jeez. All right, let's keep going.
And you must uncover the secrets of what happened. It's up to you to discover the truth behind the disaster and figure out just how much of this world can be saved.
Mutants.
No matter what else happened, as long as the truth of this place gets out.
Before you can set out on that quest, you'll awaken in the quarantine zone with little knowledge about who you are, the life you've lived, and certainly the strange new world around you. A rather nasty bout of amnesia.
You're not the first amnesiac I've seen since things went awry.
Are you
Oh, really?
a law-abiding citizen? A terrifying menace to those around you? Or are you perhaps someone just trying their best to survive in a dangerous, unfamiliar place? The choice is yours. And Atomfall gives you the freedom to embody any role. A village in one of the areas you will visit is controlled by a military group that was sent in to set up and maintain the quarantine after the disaster. A noble cause. But some might question the lengths they've gone to restore order.
I shouldn't be gossiping about this stuff.
Armed soldiers patrolling the roads of the village. Robotic sentinels on a hair trigger, prepared to attack at even the slightest hint of aggression. And villagers who live in fear as a result.
Soldiers will string you up for anything these days, and my husband was exploring where they don't like you to.
It's Fallout, okay? It's Fallout. It's literally Fallout with maybe a mix of Stalker, because that's what it seems. It's exactly the plot of Fallout, but it's Stalker combined with Fallout. Get it? There's a quarantine zone. There was a nuclear disaster, but it's set in the past, but there's future tech. It's Fallout. I just can't stop. I can't not say it. It's literally Fallout. The graphics look pretty good. I'll say that, right? The graphics look quite good. Okay.
Explore.
Does this group really have the villagers' best interest?
Does this not look like, look, it's Fallout. There's the destroyed town, but yet there's robots walking around in the town that are, it's okay.
Heart?
But step out of line, and I will revoke. your liberties here just as quickly as they were given.
Outside of the village is a lawless land filled with bandits and cultists
Really?
who don't care if you're friendly or not and will attack you on sight.
Be cautious.
There are so many things to consider on your journey through Atomfall. Exploration is a critical component of the experience, especially when it comes to your survival. The quarantine zone is in the idyllic countryside of northern England, but it is not as it once was. An abandoned rail yard, a derelict stone quarry, and verdant rolling hills contain more than just pieces of a prior civilization.
I mean, I will say this, it's prettier than Fallout. It's not all gray and brown and you know what I mean? Because it's set in England and the foliage is still there, the flora. It's not like the nuclear fallout destroyed everything. So therefore, it looks like it almost is like a combination of Elder Scrolls and Fallout when you think about it. Because it's got that open world exploration that's kind of gorgeous with the countryside, but then it's still post-apocalyptic at the same time.
As you explore these places, you'll find secret bandit hideouts, mysterious messages, secrets, clues, and leads
Secrets.
that might help you figure out how the world fell apart. These can lead you to eccentric characters, secret hideaways, or even the rundown bunkers of the British
Bunkers? You
Atomic
mean
Research
like
Division.
vaults?
You'll never know when or
Wow.
where fragments of the bigger picture will be brought into focus, but you will always need to be on guard. These facilities may not be as populated as they once were. However, the halls are often patrolled by the same robots used to patrol the rest of the quarantine zone, as well as irradiated feral creatures that won't hesitate to tear you apart. You will also come across caves and underground tunnels that seem to have been affected by the wind-scale disaster the most. Glowing plants and mushrooms cover the walls, floor and ceiling of these places, giving off a hazy fog that makes them more dangerous to traverse than other places you may go. However, the environment is not all you need to worry about. The same
Lady Charisma, I feel, just hit it on the head. Lady Charisma in chat just said, this feels like Lies of P. So you're not going to make it? Well, we'll do it ourselves. Right? FromSoft refused to make Bloodborne 2. Well, okay, let me take that back. Sony refused to allow FromSoft to make Bloodborne 2 because Sony owns the rights. So another company made Bloodborne 2 and called it Lies of P. Well, Bethesda will literally not make a new Fallout game despite the fact that people want one. Instead, they did stupid Fallout 76 and now they're just doing a bunch of other crap. So another company made the next Fallout. They just changed the location on the planet, but it's literally Fallout. I don't think it could be any more like Fallout than this. Like, how could you even possibly make it more similar to Fallout?
terrifying ferals found in the bunkers also live in these areas and will not stop to ask questions.
They even call them ferals.
Be sure
like
to be
feral
well-equipped to
ghouls.
handle these creatures and be extra cautious, as not everything is as it seems.
You're trapped in the quarantine zone around the wind-scale atom plant.
They keep showing this
You're
one
gonna defend
guy.
yourself against all these threats. You're going to need weapons, supplies, and materials, all of which you can find through scavenging the locations of Atomfall. However, if you truly want to survive, some things may need to be taken by force. The weapons you will come across include melee weapons, like the cricket bat,
Melee?
or ranged weapons, like pistols, rifles,
Think you're good with that thing?
and shotguns,
Walk straight into it. Good job.
each with their own strengths and weaknesses. During your journey through Atomfall, you may even unlock the ability to upgrade your weapons and give them more power. The ammo
Wow.
for these weapons will
I've
be
never
in
seen
short
that one.
supply, so you must either find or craft what you need to survive. However, weapons are not the only thing you will need on your journey.
can also
You
have
must
some
the
tea.
resources, like cloth and alcohol, to craft various items, to heal yourself or harm your enemies.
Where do you get
Over time,
those little cucumber sandwiches? Those things are great.
you'll expand your crafting abilities to create more aggressive tools of self-protection. Other tools at your disposal include a flashlight to light the dark paths ahead, and a trusty metal detector to locate buried caches of supplies. A handy ping will alert you when one of these caches is nearby, signaling you to equip the metal detector.
It just
and
pops
begin
up
the
out of
hunt.
nowhere.
When you aren't scavenging for materials or searching for buried treasure, you might also find various manuals that contain valuable knowledge. These manuals will imbue your character with new skills across 4 categories: ranged combat, melee combat,
Melee.
survival, and conditioning.
Melee over
Even at the
there?
end
That's how
of
they
the
say it?
world, knowledge is power. Careful selection of which skills you focus on will determine your playstyle and the path you carve out for yourself in Atomfall. We won't be going fully in depth on these skills and what each one entails right now, but as you progress, you will need to pick and choose what type of playstyle you want to focus on in Atomfall.
I really should stop talking. Not personal, but you can't trust anyone too much these days, can you?
We hope you enjoyed the first glimpse into the world of Atomfall. Leave a comment with what you are most excited to see when the game releases on March 27th, 2025.
So March 27th. Did we already know that? Did we know that it was the release date? I think we did, right? I'll have to double check my release schedule. But so overall, it's Fallout with a better environment because it's not just like a dead planet like in Fallout. For some reason, all the flora is still alive, which is kind of neat. But so many things are lifted directly from Fallout. The one thing here I'm noticing, there's no VATS. So it is more like an action-based game. Like that's what they said. Oh, it's action-based. Yeah, because you took out the VATS, so it is going to feel more like an action game than an RPG. But it has a ton of the Fallout RPG elements in it. And, you know, so here's the deal. Does it look good? Yes. It could be good. It could also, I'm going to say it's going to depend on a few factors. Like, number one, is the story actually interesting? Like, for example, my problem with Stalker 2 is that I've been playing Stalker 2 for over 20 hours, and the story didn't actually get good until the last, 2 hours. So for me, I kept playing Stalker 2 because people wanted me to keep going with it, but I probably would have, tapped out earlier because it was just not that interesting. So if this story is riveting, like the story of a typical Fallout game, then it will probably work. But if it's a game where it's open world and go explore for 14, 15 hours before the story even has any meaning or picks up, I don't know if it's going to work. Okay, just being honest here. That's number one. Number two, is it going to hold up to the expectations of those who've played open world Bethesda games? Will it be as good as an Elder Scrolls or a Fallout game? Or is it going to be very repetitive, very boring? Will it be full of game-breaking bugs and glitches because it's a sandbox style? You know what I'm saying? I'm curious about that. I wonder how well it's going to work. Personally, I think I like the looks of it, and I'm after having watched this gameplay trailer, despite the fact that it is Fallout again, only in Britain, I am intrigued. I'm interested in what the plot is. I'm interested in the gameplay elements. I am. I actually want to play it. I believe it's going to be on Game Pass. I'm not sure. I guess we'll see, but I'm interested in it for sure. And they said it was the 27th, correct? So I just want to be sure we have that on my release schedule. We do. Atomfall, March 27th. So it's on there. All right. So I'm interested in it. I would like to try it. If it's on Game Pass, it's a no-brainer that I try it, right? Why wouldn't I try it if I'm going to be able to just get it and give it a shot? And then, hey, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it's boring or whatever after a couple streams, that's fine. So Atomfall, it looks intriguing. I'm interested. I'm not blown away either, but I am more interested in it after having watched the gameplay trailer. And that's a good thing. I think that's the effect you want when you have a gameplay trailer. So there you have it. Okay. Very good. All right, folks. Well, that was interesting. It is on Game Pass. Well, there you go. Then we're definitely going to give it a shot. Okay. Stuart says, well, you could compare it to Fallout London, but I can't. I only played Fallout London for 2 hours, not even. So I can't really make that comparison, right? Not, at least not fairly. Okay. So, folks, I have covered all the topics that I was interested in covering on today's show, leaving us with a little bit of remaining time for those who want to chat. So if you'd like to do a little bit of conversation or Q&A, tag me in the chat. Let's see what you want to talk about. One thing we do not have any tips today yet. It would be great to get a tip in That way we would have basically one of each contribution type before we've even booted Stalker, which would be great. And by the way, man, of course, it would be good to hit the goal today on this stream. So let's do it. Let's hit the goal, my friends, and get towards the Jersey Mike's. I want to try that new Jersey Mike sandwich because it looks great. All right. So what's ever on everyone's mind? I have just received an anonymous gifted sub on Kick, and it went to Beaver Bother. So Beaver Bother now has a sub over on Kick. Well, congratulations to you. If that is the real Beaver Bother, because I don't actually know if it is or not. Thank you so very much to the person who just gifted that. We're now at $45 of support. So almost a third to our goal for the stream. Thank you very much for that. Okay. Someone named Turd says they can't attend this stream even though they're on this stream, but they'll be back tonight for Flight Sim. Sounds good. See you then. You might want to think about getting a better name. I don't know. Turd is a very, it's kind of self-deprecating. Call yourself Turd, don't you think? Just saying. It's kind of weird. That was a cool animation. Anyway, Dark Beast, how you doing? Because I want to say, I don't think you should give up on RPGs. It's one of the reasons I started watching your content. Dark Beast, I don't want to give up on RPGs. I want to. There's 2 RPGs coming up I'm interested in. Like a Dragon Pirate in Hawaii, which we just watched that big gameplay, preview of that looked great. And the Suikoden collection, which are RPGs that I grew up with in the 90s that are near and dear to my heart. PlayStation, awesome games. I want to share that experience with my audience. I need people to show up and engage and support those playthroughs, though. I can't be playing them for myself and have no one showing up. So we got to see what happens. Beaver Bother says, if I tip now, do I get my name on the leaderboard? Typically, yes, that's how it works, Beaver Bother. If you contribute, I shout you out and I put you on the leaderboard. I don't know if you knew that. Hoverhand says, is there a cooking appliance you want to get so you and your wife can cook new things? Not particularly. There's nothing that's sticking out in my mind right now that would be a cooking appliance we need. I mean, we have an air fryer that we don't like, so we don't use it. We use the oven for pretty much everything. Like, what cooking appliance would there be? Like a fryer? I don't think we want a fryer. That's bad for you. So probably not, no. Am I ever going to bring back Sea of Stars? Asks NMix. I would like to, but we got to find the right time. I don't think right now is the right time at all. Being that I'm juggling a bunch of stuff and there's other things on deck that people want more. I would love to revise it at some day. I would. Vitus Avitus, or is it Vitus Avitus? I don't know how to pronounce your name. Says, what's more important to you when judging a game's success, viewership numbers or support amount? Do you want to know the truth? I almost never look at view numbers. I literally right now have no idea how many people we have on this stream. I don't know. And I haven't looked at Kick viewer numbers in 2 months. Seriously, I just stopped caring because here's the thing. In my opinion, it doesn't matter if you have 2 viewers, 200 viewers, or 2,000 viewers. If you have an audience that's engaged, that likes the content, that's talking with you, right? Talking about the game, that will bring entertainment, which will then bring support, which reciprocates, and then everything works, correct? Like, that's how I feel. That's the magic formula. So I've had streams where I'm playing a hot new release and I have 1,000 viewers. And I've had streams where, it's a very small RPG stream with like 150 people. As long as people are engaged with the content, enjoying it, having a good time, and that brings support, then it all works, okay? It's not just about one thing. Because here's the thing. I'm going to give you a perfect example. Baldur's Gate 3. That was a playthrough that got support, but actually hurt me. What do I mean by that? Baldur's Gate 3 took me 140 hours to complete. That was about 3.5 to 4 months of my time on this channel. And even though there were some active people who would come to every stream and drop like $100 tip, my channel declined because of Baldur's Gate 3. My people who were engaged with the content were few and far between. Like, it was maybe actually 50 people who cared about the playthrough, I feel. And because of that, me taking so much time to get through the game and dedicating to it, a lot of people who were there for other content left and didn't come back for months and months. So my overall viewership went down, the engagement on the channel went down, and a lot of people didn't come back till like April. In April, I started playing a different variety of games, and all of a sudden, boom, the channel's momentum came back. So it's not just about support. It's not just about engagement. It's certainly not about overall viewers. You got to find that happy balance that works. I could very well play an RPG that only 150 people show up for, but if everyone on that stream is happy, having a good time, and supporting the content, then it doesn't matter. At the same time, I could be having a stream of a game where I get 1,000 viewers, but if everyone in the chat is talking about something else, doesn't care about the game, and no one supports it, the viewers don't matter. You see, you got to find that perfect balance that everything works. So I just received 5 anonymous subs over on Kick. Thank you, the anonymous 5 sub gifter. You are awesome. I really appreciate that. So, Dank Sneed Pimp has been unseated. We have an anonymous 5 sub gifter. Let's play an animation for that. I keep forgetting to play animations for the gifted subs, and that's unfortunate. Let's play one right now. Here we go. 5 gifted sub animation. Thank you so very much over on Kick. And that counts for a very generous $25 of support, which means we are now up to $70 of support and almost halfway to our goal for the stream. Thank you so much. Very nice. Also, I received my first tip of the day. Someone's name is RTU's Mushroom Tip, and they said, here's my tip. First off, I got to ask, who in their right mind would be thinking about RTU's Mushroom Tip? Like, seriously, dude? That's some gross, weirdo, fringe shit. You need some help. Seriously, I strongly urge that you seek help at this point. It's very disturbing. You're a very disturbing individual. All right? There's no chance in hell I'm putting RTU's Mushroom Tip on my leaderboard. So I'm just going to say, Mushroom. Your name is now Mushroom, and you've tipped $1. Let's hope someone can unseat Mushroom, and we can get a different tipper up there, because that is pretty ridiculous. By the way, in the meantime, Vitas Avitas just dropped a 10-member bomb. Thank you, Vitas Avitas. That's why we have all these nice pop-ups. You are now the top membership gifter, and that is worth $30. So now we're up to $101 of support. And let's get you up on the leaderboard. He has unseated Perry the White. Thank you, Vitas. Poor Perry has been unseated. Sorry about that. All right, and everyone who just got a gifted membership, be sure to enjoy. Everyone who just got gifted subs over on Kick, enjoy all those emotes and everything. Good stuff there. All right, so now we are 2/3 of the way to our goal, and we're still on the podcast. That's a great sign. So thank you guys so very much for this early support this week. A great return back. I appreciate that. Thank you guys so very much. Okay. What's this? Another tip is rolled in. But it is under $1. And ladies and gentlemen, you must contribute $1 or more to get a shout out. So too bad. Okay. Let's see here. Will I play Team Fight Tactics? I have no idea what that is. So no, never heard of it. And Mix asks, which age did you live in your own place? So at what point did I live in my own place outside of my parents' house? Let's see. The youngest I did that was in the mid-2000s. I moved into a shared apartment. It was a 3-bedroom apartment with 2 other employees when I worked at Wells Fargo Financial. I'm trying to remember exactly when that was. Let's see. I graduated from college in 2004. And immediately out of college, I got the Wells Fargo job. So it probably was around 2004, 2005. So I was probably around 22, 23. Yeah. There's your answer. I was around 22, 23. But it wasn't the last time I lived with my parents. You know, after that, I lived there for about a year and a half. And then all my roommates didn't want to live with each other anymore. Not me. It wasn't my decision. It was theirs. So basically then I moved back in with my parents for like another year. And then I started working at the helicopter support job for about 2-3 years. And then I was able to afford my own place. I bought my condo in Connecticut. So there you go. Whoever this person is in chat, I don't know what a TV Tropes page is, so that's good for you, but I don't really care. Keep spamming that you made a TV Tropes page. I don't care. I don't even know what that is. Okay. All right. What else is on everyone's mind? I'm sure there's some stuff to talk about. What's on everyone's mind? What do I need to be in the know about? What did I miss in the last day or two that I've been away? Right? What happened on Saturday? What went down? What's all the hot new buzz? Before we jump back into Stalker 2. Did I hear about a 10-hour detractor video? Are you kidding? There's been 10-hour detractor videos before. That's not the first. People are insane. And they actually think that, like, making a video like that I'm never going to watch or care about is like, worth anyone's time. They're just losers. You know, what else can I say? If you had that much time to make a 10-hour video about me, no, I don't care about it. I'm never going to watch it. Will I ever visit India? Unlikely. It might be a nice place to visit for tourism and stuff, but I doubt I'll ever fly over there. Sparks, I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Let's see here. You just did customer support at a helicopter job. Why couldn't you get a CSR job anywhere else when you went full in on YouTube? Because at the time, in 2010, the economy was very different. If you remember, the late 2000s into early 2010s, there was a big market crash. Most of these companies didn't have any money and weren't hiring. For example, the reason I got laid off from helicopter support was because there was a big financial crash and all the companies out there couldn't really afford to operate helicopters anymore. So they all scaled down their operations, and my company was aftermarket support for helicopters. They didn't have the business, so they ended up laying off a ton of people, including me. And it wasn't the only industry. A lot of industries out there were cutting back at that time. So there was no equivalent job in the industry anywhere near where I lived that was hiring. The only jobs that were out there at that point were like retail jobs. So imagine now me having to take on 2-3 retail jobs and juggle between them to make as much money as I was making at the helicopter company and be able to keep my condo and afford everything I was paying for. It would have been insane. It was actually a safer, gamble. I know there's really no such thing as a safe gamble, but it was a safer chance to try to do YouTube as a job than it was to try to just get, in real life stuff and make it work. So there you go. TV Tropes is good. It's cool. It's a wiki of common tropes in media. Having a page there is a good thing. All I know is every single time that I've had any page made about me, it's been negative. I'm not even kidding you. I haven't had a positive piece of content made about me like that in about 15 years. Really, when I started on YouTube, people wanted to reference me on the internet and had me in places positively. And ever since the last 10 years happened, it's just been like negative, negative, negative. So I find it hard to believe that there would be a positive page about me somewhere, but I've never heard of it. Okay. Did I ever listen to music while playing in tournaments? No. I always just listen to the game audio to help me out. Any interest in the new Nosferatu movie? I thought it was great. It spooked me up good, says Perry the White. I'll probably be interested in it when it's on demand. I like horror movies and sounds interesting. I probably would give it a shot. How much you want to bet it'll be on demand? Probably around like Halloween. They'll be on like all the services or whatever, right? Okay. I received a $1.25 tip from I took a shit today. Yeah, I don't care. People are trying to reference drama. We already referenced it the other day, and I told you my opinion. You can stop, like, bringing up the same thing a million times. I don't care. Thanks. You know me, I don't care about drama. I don't address it because there's a waste of my time. I'm not taking bait of people trying to get me to talk about the same topic 4,000 times, so I'm not even going to put you on the leaderboard. Nice try. No, I don't follow sports, so I'm not excited about any games going into the Super Bowl. Dynasty Warriors Origins. Isn't there a new Dynasty Warriors game coming out this year? And I said that I was interested to try it because I wanted to see how a Dynasty Warriors game would run on my PC. Because historically, whenever I've played them, they always have frame rate issues when more enemies are on the screen. And to see a Dynasty Warriors game that would not chug, but instead would be like insane amounts of enemies on the screen getting fucked up would be neat. So I don't know I don't know about when it comes out, but maybe just on the sake of a graphical test, I might want to play it. There's a demo out right now. Okay, well, I'm juggling 5,000 things. I can't play a demo right now, right? Unless you guys want me to cancel another stream to do it. It comes out on Friday? Oh. Well, then I'm probably not playing it. I had no clue it was coming out anytime soon. Thank you. Piss Style Man says my sweater looks awesome. I appreciate that. I really like this sweater. I really do. You can try the demo. Yeah, I know, but I don't have time to play the demo is the point I'm making. Like, we're juggling Indiana Jones, Stalker 2, Dark Souls with mods, which you guys wanted, Call of Duty, some indie game action, fighting games, and flight sim. We're juggling all of that, and now you want me to take a stream away to play the demo of this? Are you serious? I don't know, man. Am I going to do a Super Bowl stream this year? All right, so let's start talking about this. 2 years ago, I did a Super Bowl stream. It was my first ever. People loved it. I wore my football jerseys. I wore the beer helmet, and I drank beers out of the beer helmet. And I got drunk that day, and people really enjoyed it, correct? Last year, I said, let's do another Super Bowl stream. It did okay. We did a simulated match of the Super Bowl. It did all right. But overall, the vibe was a lot lower. I think people were like, he's doing it again. This year, I don't think we should do it. I think instead we should follow along with our ideas here that we base everything off of reward goals. So remember, when we hit 100, Viewer's Choice Playthrough will happen. And probably what we'll do is to celebrate when we hit that 100, whatever game you guys choose to be the Viewer's Choice Playthrough, we do a marathon day of that game. So whatever it is that's selected, we play it all day one day to start the playthrough, and then maybe we do 1 or 2 more streams to determine if it becomes a full-time playthrough or not. And then when we hit the next 50, we'll do another themed marathon, whatever you guys want, whether it's, PC Rageathon or continuing with the Mega Man stuff or whatever it is. I don't think the Super Bowl thing would work this year. Like I said, 2 years ago, it was an original idea. People liked it. It was something fresh. Last year, we did it already. People weren't that interested. It's kind of like the same thing with the ad apocalypse that we did for 2 years. The first year, me reacting to retro ads was a fun, cool idea. The second year, not that many people cared or showed up. So, you got to keep it fresh, right? Let's see here. Mr. Puffy Nipples did a $1.25 tip, says, imagine if they made a new Resistance game. I would love it. Yeah, it's funny, because if you think about all those PS3 era Sony exclusive franchises, they've abandoned all of them. And I'm not sure why, because at the time they were very popular, right? You had Resistance, which had 2 or 3 games. You had Infamous, which had 2 very successful games and spin-offs and 1 not so successful but still decent game. Killzone, that did really well. Remember Killzone? Yeah, there was like 3 or 4 really popular PS5 franchises that were like their big things. And now for some bizarre reason, they dropped them all. I don't know. Maybe that's why they don't have so many console exclusives anymore. They just gave up on a lot of the franchises that were popular back then for some reason. I don't know why. Mr. Singh, I do not listen to detractors. No worries. Beaver Bother, thanks for $1 tip. No, I don't address anything below $1. So if you sent an 80-cent and 20-cent contribution, they're never going to get shouted out. You have to do $1 or more. That's always been the rule of thumb. And quite frankly, I thought very strongly about phasing out the dollar stuff because, you know, you get people who spam dollar tips that are just like insults and stuff, and then I ignore them anyway, so I don't know what the point is, right? Could we do a live Royal Rumble react for Smart Guys? No. You cannot do it without, you cannot show any footage or whatever. Plus, it would be way too bloated. Royal Rumble's going to be, what, like 3+ hours? No, that's ridiculous. We'll definitely do a Smart Guys episode recapping it, but we're not going to be doing a live react. That's too much time investment. Although, if Ashton were here right now, I'm sure what he would say is, well, if you pay for it, if you support the show enough to warrant us spending that much time on doing a live react, then pay a lot of money for it and we'll have it. We'll do it. That's, of course, that would always be his reaction. I'll give you what you want, but you got to pay for it, right? So don't just take my word for it. I would say you want a better answer, ask that question during Smart Guys, all right? And then we'll answer together. There you go. It definitely shouldn't be me just answering these questions. It is a 50-50 show between us, so. A lot of people are saying I should do between $3 to $5 minimum for shout outs. I shouldn't be shouting out anything at $1 level because it's usually detractors anyway. That's what a lot of people are saying right now in chat. What do you guys think? Should we do that? Should we make it that there's a limit that I only shout out things that are like $5 or more? Or, okay, we can't do that because 420 tips. Remember, 420 tips have a special animation. Maybe 420 or higher. Maybe that's what it should be. I will shout out anything I'll do a verbal name shout out, but not read a message for anything below 420. But if you want to get a message read and addressed and responded to, it's 420 or higher. We could do that. $3. Some people are saying $3. $3 is fair. Vitas Savitas thinks $1 should be shouted out. I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to always name shout out stuff. As long as it's not a stupid name, I would do a name shout out anyway. But I've definitely noticed if you take a look, all these tips coming, $1. And it's always like the most ridiculous thing that, you know, we're wasting time on. It's never anything worthwhile. No, I do not smoke weed. What will the next event stream be? I just announced, I just said, when we hit 100, when we hit goals of 100, it's going to be the premiere of Viewer's Choice. Probably what will happen is when we're reaching around 90 goals hit, we'll start with a nominations process of what game you guys would like to see as the Viewer's Choice and like a poll. And once we determine that, then when we hit 100, we'll do a marathon day where that whole day I just play the game. It's the beginning of that playthrough. So it'll be a good, 6+ hours of gameplay of that game to get the playthrough like jump started. And then that's it. And then the next themed marathon will be at the next 50 goals, right? Just like how we just did the Mega Man Rageathon. Well, the next themed marathon will be after the next 50. See? There you go. My day's going good. No sleep, real vibes. Thank you for asking. I always shout out a super thanks, Mohammed, but it's always in the comments of the video. If someone leaves a super thanks on a YouTube video, I like the video, I fave the video, and I respond to it to personally say thank you. Mrs. Potter says, ever consider a playthrough of Fatal Frame 1 and 2? I played Fatal Frame years ago. No one liked it. There was a brand new Fatal Frame game that had come out during a Halloween event. People said play it for Halloween, so I did. This was almost a decade ago. So I played it. Everyone said Fatal Frame is boring. You know, personally, I was having a good time with it. There were jump scares and stuff, but everyone was bored. So I said, man, that sucks. And then since then, I never played a Fatal Frame ever again. Beaver Bother, your tips would be shouted out in name only. I would not be addressing your messages if it's $1 tip, if we make this change. I should get into cameos. Yeah, I know it would be lucrative. I'm sure people would pay me a lot of money to say dumb shit, but I don't really care. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm just going to sit around and just say anything for money. That's pretty dumb. If I was going to do that, I would have done it years ago and I would be rich right now for making drama content and all of that, which I don't want to do. Oh, we already played Banjo-Tooie, Ivana. Well, I already played that years ago. It's great. I played Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie. We loved them. Big Mac says, obviously, I'm late on this. I realize you stopped doing DSP throwbacks. No, his playthroughs are still being restored. We just talked about this first thing on the show today. The playthroughs on DSP Throwback are still being restored right now. It is Mass Effect 1 and Resident Evil 5. Mass Effect 1 is about to end, so we're determining, gee, should we maybe do Mass Effect 2 or Assassin's Creed 2 next? We stopped doing the Retro React streams for a while during the fall when it got very busy. But I'm very strongly considering bringing them back, just not immediately, because right now we're trying to get through the stuff we're doing. Once we wrap up a couple playthroughs or whatever and the schedule opens up a little bit, I actually want to bring back the Retro React streams because I really enjoy doing them. And the next game would be Fallout 3 because people already previously voted and said Fallout 3 is what they wanted next. What is my favorite chocolate brand? Oh, man. I don't particularly know if I have one. There's so many different kinds of chocolate out there that are delicious. You know, when I was growing up, I was like Hershey's because I always had Hershey Kisses and stuff. At the same time, I liked M&M Mars because I liked M&Ms and other things like that. And then as I got older, I started liking dark chocolate more. So now, having dark chocolate and stuff is really good. Ghirardelli dark chocolate is amazing. But I've also had like foreign chocolate. Like a few years ago, a fan of mine sent me this big box of chocolate from like Sweden and stuff. And that stuff was absolutely amazing. So I don't know. I don't know if I actually even have. The thing is, I don't really eat candy that often. I love it. Like, I'm a chocoholic. If I start eating chocolate, I can't stop. I love it. But I don't have it. I literally have no chocolate whatsoever in my home right now. None. I couldn't even tell you the last time I had it. Probably like October, maybe November. And once it was done, that was it. I don't buy anymore. That's how I stop temptation. I just don't have it. Never had Crossco cream puffs. No, I have not. All right, guys, in a couple of minutes here, we're going to adjourn the show. I want to say thanks for a great return podcast. I think that was a good one. If you would like to contribute right now and hit that goal, let's do it. Why don't we crush the goal right now and hit it, and then we don't have to think about it when I'm playing Stalker 2? Who's going to do it? Who's going to come in and be like, you know what? I'm just going to toss that last handful into the coffer, fill it with coin, maybe even overflow it, hit that goal, continue on, and then we don't have to talk about it for the rest of the stream. That sounds good to me. Maybe a nice 50 tip, 10 subs. Yeah. Beaver Bother, yes, if you tip $1.26, you'll be on the leaderboard. That's correct. That's how it works. The top tipper always gets on the leaderboard. Actually, nope, never mind, because someone just tipped $4.20. He said, hope you're doing good. Are you ever going to stream DSP Throwback at nights again? I literally just addressed that. Literally moments ago, I said, I want to bring it back. I really liked the Retro React streams on the Throwback channel. It will be Fallout 3 when we resume them because people already voted for it, but I have to find the right time to bring it back. And that's an anonymous 420 tip. So you'd have to be $4.21 if you want to be on the leaderboard, Beaver Botter. So we're now up to 108. Very nice. Thank you, guys. Lady Christmas says this might be more for smart guys. How you feel about the more sports-like production from Raw when you watched it this past week? I don't think you covered it much on the show. Oh, no, we did, actually. I was blown away by the production value. But the thing that got me about it is that that's a great way to start off the new Raw on Netflix. But if they don't keep that level, right? If they drop immediately week 2 with production level quality and it goes back to being like old school Monday Night Raws, people are going to be like, what is this? Like, I don't get it. Last week I watched this show and it was like amazing and it blew me away. And now I come back the next day or the next week to watch it. Already the show feels like a whole different vibe and everything. So I'm curious what they're going to do. I'm very curious about this week's show. We'll have to see together on Monday night. No, I'm not really interested in Virtua Fighter 5 Revo. It's like the 10th version of Virtua Fighter 5 at this point. I played one a couple years ago and I thought it was good, but don't really care. Turkey Tom released a Low Tier God documentary. You were mentioned briefly. Are you interested in reacting to it? No. I don't care. Okay. I will reserve my decision on if I'm interested in Kingdom Come 2 for when it comes out. I was not impressed with the first one. So Rare Trick says, as soon as you and PPP stop watching Raw, I'm going to cancel my Netflix. Well, I mean, that's the premise of the show. We kind of have to watch Raw, right? So I don't know. We'll see. No, I have not seen Squid Game 2. All right. Any last minute stuff, guys, before we prepare for Stalker 2? By the way, how did the microphone sound today? I'm still making tweaks. I lowered the gain a little bit more because when I was listening to the gameplay I did on Friday, and it sounded like it just was a little bit too loud and a little bit blown out. So I lowered the gain a little bit more. I'm trying to find the perfect level here. I feel like we still haven't found it with this new mic. We're going to get there, but I feel like we're just not there yet. Like the mic is very close right now to me. Like people said, bring it closer. So I did, but I feel like when I did bring it closer, now it blows out more a little. So I'm trying to find the perfect level here. I got another anonymous sub over on Kick. Thank you so much. Whoever is doing all these anonymous subs, I have no idea if it's all the same person or completely different people. There's no way to know. But thank you very much for another anonymous Kick sub. That's going to be another $5 of support today. Thank you guys so very much for that. We're now up to 113 and climbing. We're almost to the goal. We're almost there and haven't even started the game. That's amazing. I need to position it above my mouth line. It actually is. My mouth is here, and the microphone is here. The camera doesn't make it look like that because the camera is actually a little higher. So the camera's looking down at an angle, which makes the mic appear to be lower than it really is. The mic is above my mouth line. Here's my mouth line. Here's the mic. So it's about that much difference. I believe I did verify that anonymous subs show up for revenue on Kick. It's weird because they don't show up in your queue. Like your queue of revenue on Kick will show everyone who gifted a sub, but then it doesn't show the anonymous ones, but then it seems to add them. Because there was that stream the other day, there were 2 anonymous gifted subs, and after the stream I checked and it increased by $10. And I was like, oh, so they must count. I don't know why they don't show them though. That is weird. Where did I get this sweater? Kohl's. Went to Kohl's about a month and a half ago, and I bought a few new things, and this was one of them. I really like the sweater. It's comfy, too. Comfy and nice looking. Well, I play Avowed once again. It's on Game Pass. It's a no-brainer to try it. If we like it, keep playing it. If not, drop it, you know. But yeah, for sure. Let's see here. Will Marvel Rivals ever come back? Maybe, but again, people have to show up and engage and support with the game. They did not. I played Marvel Rivals for 12 hours, and the last 2 streams of it both had very, very low engagement, meaning very few people in chat were even paying attention or talking about the game, and we didn't hit the goals. They were way off. They were some of the slowest streams I did, so why am I going to keep playing it? Right? Got to do what people want, got what people are willing to engage and support with. What happened to the old mic? Closet. Old mic is in the closet. Yeah, in storage. I have another one too. I have the other mic. You know this one, right? I've shown this one, the one that has the RGBs. This has RGBs too, as you can see. But this other one here. I bought this one simply for voice communication on console. So if I'm going to do voice chat over a console, I have this microphone, and that's how I was actually voice communicating with Brian many months ago when we were doing Street Fighter 6. It's very cheap. It's like the most discounted mic on Amazon, but it was like the best seller on there too. It sounds okay. It doesn't sound anywhere near as good as this one. It just sounds okay, but it's not bad. So basically I have this as a backup USB mic, and I will always still have the other mic if I ever want to go back to using the preamp. But that's a much more elaborate setup where you need to have separate power source and everything. It's kind of frustrating, you know. But this is nice. It's light and has some features, like has the touch to mute, just like this has touch to mute. This had touch to mute, has an on microphone, like volume adjuster and stuff, a little mini pop guard. You know, that's why everyone likes it. It's like an all-in-one package, and it's cheap. It's just not that great of quality, but it's nice to have a backup. And you know, I might have to need a double mic situation at some point. I'm not sure. Like right now, I found a way to get this mic to work both with Discord and OBS at the same time. So I don't need this for that. But if ever I needed to voice communicate, say, through a game, like on my PC or on a console, that's what I would probably use this guy for. Because it's just plug and play. Just plug it in USB and it works within moments. So that's good. Mr. Singh did a $2 super chat and says, I support what I can, bro. Well, thank you, Mr. Singh, for that. I appreciate that. That gets us up to 115. And I received a second 420 tip. Do you have any tips on uploading gameplay to YouTube? I noticed the uploading takes forever along with processing of videos. Do you recommend hashtags? What you're talking about is encoding. Like, for example, you know, what encoder you're using to make your video, which then, you know, determines things like bitrate, and the like. Basically, YouTube likes certain encoding types better than others. You probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but the technical side of stuff, for example, if you're using the different codecs, are you aware of the different codecs? You're probably not. So there's an AV1 codec. That's the latest standard, and YouTube absolutely hates it. If you upload any video in the latest standard of AV1, it takes forever to process and usually sticks and sometimes never fully processes. So I got this new spiffy capture and streaming PC. I got everything with the best standard, the newest stuff. I go to do it on YouTube. Within a week, it doesn't work. So now I'm using a slightly older codec. It's kind of the one from a few years ago. I think it's called like H.265, I think is the name of the codec. That one, YouTube processes it right away and has zero issues with it. So that's the better one. It's just not as good. Like, it's not as streamlined and the files are a little larger, but that's what I use when I record for YouTube. I used to use H.264, which was the old standard over a decade ago, and that one also works fine with YouTube. So if you use either of those standards, it works pretty much without issue. But most people probably have no idea what I'm talking about, and I don't blame you. Oh, and what was the other thing? Hashtags don't really do anything on YouTube, to be frank. They used to do things called tags, and then they turned them into hashtags, and they don't do anything. YouTube basically now has an AI system that reads your titles and scans your video, and that's what determines how your video will show up in YouTube search. So if you title your video correctly for how you want it to be found, or the AI will just catch it, either one, YouTube will have your video sorted by that. Tags literally do nothing anymore, even though they used to be super important. Like, you put a whole bunch of tags on your video, how you want it to be found in search. They're not even used anymore. So it's a waste of time. What's my favorite SmackDown versus Raw game from back in the day? Probably, well, the original was SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. That was the one that started it all, I think. As for the SmackDown versus Raw games, I don't remember or differentiate between them. What's the worst soft lock I ever had in a game? I don't remember. Do I archive old footage? Do you have an NAS? NAS, what does that stand for? I archive old footage, like ancient footage, on external hard drives. That's what I pull upon in order to make the videos for DSP Throwback. It's all the ancient videos are stored on external hard drives that I plug in, and I load them straight from there, and then they get edited and uploaded to the newer format to DSP Throwback. Today, I archive my videos for a while, but then after a while, I delete them. So I don't necessarily keep everything new from today backed up forever. Hypnotic Jinx is at a $21 super chat, reaffirming their position as the top super chatter of the day, saying, we should definitely do a DSP Drinks It for the next reward. Well, I'm down for that. Remember, this week we'll do food. We'll probably do this Jersey Mike's sub. I'm interested in that. But if people wanted to see that, okay. By the way, we're up to 140 now. We're only $10 away from hitting the goal. If people wanted to see that, I'm down for it. But the question is, we got to determine what will it be. Yeah, right? Like, would it be a beer type? Do you guys know of an ale or a beer you want me to try to get and taste over the course of like a stream? Or is there some hard liquor that you want me to try? If that's the case, I could only do that like at the end of the stream or only at like a night stream, right? I'm not going to do that in the morning. But I'd be down for that. Something different, because we never do that. But we got to figure it out then. Like, what would it be? Thank you, Jinx. I know my hair, if you haven't noticed, my hair puffs up over the course of the podcast. It seriously does. My hair's like, okay, then all of a sudden it goes in like areas like this area right here is like extra puffy at all times for some bizarre reason. It just keeps puffing up right there. It's very weird. Another anonymous gifted sub has been given out. Thank you, anonymous gifter. There you go. So now we are up to 145. We are literally $5 away from hitting the goal. and adding one to our goals hit counter there. Beaver Bother is claiming it was him that gifted. If it was you, I'm sure you would have used your real name and got credit for it rather than doing that. So you are a liar. You are a full liar. Do I still post stuff on Instagram? No, my Instagram is defunct. I don't use it. I have nothing to put up on there. All right. Folks, I do believe it is time to end the show. It's a shame we couldn't hit the goal by the end of the podcast. I know you guys made a valiant effort and a push there at the end, but it looks like it is time to end the show. Now, today we're doing Stalker 2 and Microsoft Flight Sim. Tomorrow on the podcast, we will see what's going on with news and the like. And depending on, what happens, maybe we'll do a more chill show. Today we had a variety of topics to cover. You never know what's going to happen on the show, right? But I would like to say thank you very much for a great return show. And I'm happy to head into the new week, 6 straight days of fun here on DSP Gaming and DSP Gaming Real. But now it is time to game, get more serious. We got to figure out what's going on in the zone, right? All right, everybody. Thank you all so very much. I will see you tomorrow for the next episode of the Level 1 Podcast.